Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlene and today I'm going to be doing the In Your Wildest Dreams book tag. This tag was created by Heather Reeds and I was tagged to do this by Amanda from Be Kind and Read On. And this is a tag all about if you could have different bookish things in your wildest dreams, what would they be? And there's 5 prompts to this, so let's just go ahead and get into them. So question number 1 is your fantasy time and place to read a book. And for me, I would have to say that would probably be in the evening, curled up on the couch, in a cabin, with a fireplace going, and a warm blanket, and a cup of hot tea or hot chocolate. Just really somewhere where it's quiet, and it's cozy, and I can just curl up with a good book and a good drink and enjoy my time. No, I didn't say coffee, because if it's night or evening, I don't really want the caffeine. I will still drink tea at night, even with it being decaf, but not coffee. Even decaf coffee is a no, not at night. Question number 2 is your fantasy personal library, or your personal library if you have attained that fantasy. Well, I very much have not. Again, I like warm and cozy, so I would want a room with at least a couple walls of wall-to-wall bookshelves, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. I want a fireplace in the room. I want a comfortable chair, maybe even a couch, and just some nice soft lighting. Enough that I can see and read by, but not something bright and glaring. Oh, and if it's my dream personal library, it's also going to have a secret nook or secret room, something. Some bookshelf that opens up into another area that nobody else knows about. That's my fantasy library. Question number 3 is, imagine you have decided to build a bookshop. What would you call it? Would it sell new or secondhand books? Would it sell anything else? What features would you want in that shop? As far as the name, I have no idea. However, some of the things that I've thought about if I ever did own a bookshop, which I highly doubt I would, but I can still dream. First of all, I would like the shop itself to be in like an older house, not in an older building, an actual house where rooms and stuff have been converted to make it into a bookstore. There is a bookstore in Columbus, Ohio I went to called the Book Loft, and this is exactly how this one is designed. It was a house and they converted the rooms into a bookstore. So you have different rooms where different books are. Even the garden area out back, they have some books, or at least they did when I was there several years ago. And I just loved that idea of taking an older home and turning it into a bookstore. So that's item number 1. I would probably sell both new and used books, just because the overhead cost of all new books is pretty high, but I don't want to just sell secondhand books. I would like to sell some new ones too. And then obviously it would depend on how the house is designed, but ideally I would like to have a house with a basement that is a walkout basement, and that would be the coffee shop. And then there could be times where maybe we have different events that are going on, and they can happen in the coffee shop where the rest of the store is blocked off. You know, the door is locked, you can't get upstairs into the bookstore, but you can come into the coffee shop through the walk-in basement, or maybe even a garden patio area out back, and we could do events there. So that's kind of the idea I've had in mind. Maybe a bit elaborate for someone who doesn't think she's ever going to own a bookstore, but you know, it's kind of the idea I've played with. Question number 4 is one person, not a booktuber, with whom you can find a good conversation about books. If you don't know a person like this, who do you wish would become a reader so that you could talk books with them? Well, I really have 2 people that I talk about books with a lot, and that's my brother and sister-in-law. Both of them are very avid readers. My brother and I, in the books that we both like, we have very similar taste, but there are some genres or subgenres that he reads and I don't, and some genres I read that he doesn't. But our tastes really are very similar, and I feel like I'm still figuring out my sister-in-law's reading taste as far as what we agree on and what we don't. But there have been a lot of books that we have both enjoyed. So they're the two that I talk about books most with outside of BookTube. And prompt number 5 is, if you won $1 million or pounds or yen or euros, etc., and you could only spend it on book or book-related items, how would you spend it? First of all, I'm going to make a note that there is a big difference between $1 million and 1,000,000 yen. But that aside, if I won $1 million and could only spend it on book and book-related items, well, first of all, bookshelves. I would buy more bookshelves so they can hold more books. I would very likely also buy bookshelves for some other people because I'm sure they would like to have them. And honestly, books and bookshelves are really the only book and book-related items that I actually purchase. I mean, I could buy a few more bookmarks, but that would be a lot of bookmarks for $1 million. So more than likely, I would end up buying a lot of books for a lot of other people. I would buy quite a few books for myself, but I would be buying a lot of books for other people because that's just a lot of money. And I know books can be expensive, but I would not need to spend all that money on me. There is absolutely no reason. So I would buy a lot of books for the other readers in my life and probably for some of the people that I've met here on BookTube as well. All right, so those are all the questions in the tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I should probably tag some people to do this. I'm trying to think of who I've seen do this tag and who I've not seen do this tag. I don't believe I've seen Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day do this tag. And I know she's talked about having ideas for a bookstore if she were ever to open one. So I'm curious for her answer on that one. So I'll tag her. I will also tag Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia and Dia from Novel Idea because I'm curious about some of their answers too. So other than that, I believe that's all I have for today. If there are any questions on here that you would like to answer, feel free to do so down in the comments. I would be most curious about your fantasy library and your fantasy bookstore because a lot of people have a lot of different ideas and it's always fun to hear what other people would do. Other than that, I think that's all I have for you guys today. So I hope, as always, that you have a wonderful day and I'll see you later.